everyone, welcome to my video, Man United. Welcome to my channel, I must say, before Man United 90. And then thank you for watching this video. This is actually a match preview between West Ham United versus Manchester United. And before I begin, I haven't been posting videos for I think past 2 weeks. I've been very busy at my job that pays my bills, that I am a slave to. So because of that, I wasn't able to post any videos, not as though I expect any one of you who's been waiting for them, but that's the reason I wasn't able to. I was just a bit too busy at my other job, putting in 65 to 70 hours in the last 2 weeks each. And that's why I wasn't able to post any videos. But I you know what, I didn't really I was kind of glad I couldn't post any videos, because that loss we had against Young Boys in our Champions League qualifier. I if I want to just recap of what happened, I did the last video I did, I think it was a preview between Manchester United versus Newcastle. It was Ronaldo's second debut for Manchester United, which was, I'm sure you guys all by now know, it was a dream debut. He scored 2 goals. Bruno had an amazing goal. United won 4-1. Lingard with the 4th goal. So we're all hyped up, really happy. Our expectations are sky high. Old Trafford was beaming. Was just a legendary atmosphere at the home stadium. 2 days later or 3 days later, whatever it was, we traveled to Switzerland, Bern, to play Young Boys, and we lose 2-1, which was, it felt so bad, especially after that game against Newcastle. Ronaldo's coming back, even though Ronaldo scored against in the Champions League, and it just felt weird. I didn't know what to say. I was so busy at work. I was like, I wasn't looking forward to making a video anyway, but I think my work schedule kind of saved me, because it went on Tuesday, I think, was the game, and I was just so disgusted. But that's that. It was the first game of the campaign. It doesn't mean the end of the world, and I do feel like there is an overreaction from that game against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Excuse me. That one game doesn't judge him, but it kind of brings back the doubts that a lot of people have against the manager. If he is a top manager, who's able to make critical decisions when it matters. And the game against Young Boys showed that, as a matter of fact, all of the substitutions that he made kind of backfired. They just didn't work. They didn't make any sense. I tried to make sense of each of them. It just didn't. I know he wants to rest Ronaldo. That's what he said, because of the plastic pitch. But I don't know if Ronaldo wants to be rested. That is the one thing that I am slightly worried about. If Ole is going to do that in certain games, Ronaldo is an experienced player. He's played with a lot of different coaches. So Ronaldo is going to be judging Ole every single move that he makes. And I'm slightly worried the relationship between the two, it might get burdened. And the effects of that relationship will then have a ripple effect to the whole squad. Uh, so that's my only worry from that game. I wasn't worried about Champions League. I wasn't, necessarily worried about how if that game kind of changes our whole season. It doesn't. I'm pretty sure there are things to be learned from that game, and I think United will learn, but it kind of exposed Ole, and Ronaldo would have definitely noticed that, because if you remember in the past couple of seasons, or prior to when Ronaldo was at Real Madrid under Zinedine Zidane, a lot of the times, I think there were even a couple of times where Real Madrid um, got reduced to 10 men because of a red card, and at some point, if they were drawing or losing, they would end up winning the game, and that's the mentality that that team had compared to when we went to 10 men. I think we crumbled, and Ronaldo definitely would have noticed that, and it came. The I can't defend Ole on this. It came from the manager. It did. I think after a red card, it's up to management to be proactive and change the system. Get to halftime, do a good team talk, motivate the players, and it just didn't seem like anything. There was no reaction to the red card. Anyway, that's my only worry from that defeat. I'm still pretty confident that we'll make it to the next round of we'll survive the group stages. We'll qualify for the knockout stages. I'm still pretty confident. But anyway, moving on from that defeat, really looking forward to the game against West Ham. It's the away game, so it's going to be in London. Ronaldo's already scored 3 goals. Bruno has started the season really well. So I'm gonna go over my predicted 11. The 11 I think that Ole is going to pick. And as I go around the players that I think he's gonna pick, I'll keep a note, or I'll let you guys know what I think the players that he should select. My personal opinion. So I think you can see on my screen now. Either it's here or there. I always forget. David De Gea. So right, that's one thing I'll touch up on again every time I talk about the goalkeeper. I'll give De Gea the credit that he deserves. Before the season started, I said that's one of our weak links in the team, and it hasn't shown. De Gea has been really decent, better than decent. He's been really good. A top goalkeeper that we all know that he is. He has shown that in past couple of matches, ever since the season started. Actually, I know we've conceded a lot, but he's made great saves. The game against Newcastle, the goal that Bruno scored, that came from De Gea's kick from from our own half, which was amazing. His distribution towards, I think it went to Greenwood, was brilliant. It was beautiful. So credit where it's due. He's been amazing this season so far, and I hope long may it continue. So he's going to be obviously he's going to start as our number 1 goalkeeper, and our defenders are going to be I think Ole is going to go with Harry Maguire and Rafa Varane. Even though Lindelof started the game in the Champions League against Young Boys, but by halftime, Rafa Varane came in the place of Donny van de Beek, which was a little sad. But I think still Varane and Maguire are going to play, and I think they should play. they should be involved more and more, and should work on their partnership at the back at every chance that they get. So those are the two, center back pairings. Left back is obviously going to be Luke Shaw. Right back, I will. It's 29 on my predicted team because I think that's what Ole is going to go with. But I would want Ole to give Delo a go. Delo a chance against West Ham. A couple of reasons for this. One, so Aaron Wan-Bissaka knows that there is competition, and he needs to up his game because he really does need to perform better. Second, I think Delo is a much better crosser of the ball from the wing than Wan-Bissaka. And since Ronaldo, which as you guys can see, number 7 up top, is going to be a striker, it will be absolutely vital that we are able to put in good crosses in the box. And I think Delo is naturally just a great crosser. So I think Ole is going to go with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but in my opinion, you should go with Diogo Delo. In the midfield, I think Ole is going to go with Matic and Fred. I know McTominay is back, but I don't think he'll go straight into the starting lineup just yet. Although I think Ole should go with Fred and Van de Beek. I know it sounds a bit controversial because West Ham are a good team, a quick team, and we need to control the midfield to win the match. That's, that if you control the midfield, we'll definitely win the match. But to control the midfield, I think, Fred being sort of a central pivot. I'm sorry, I just had dinner a while ago. Fred being our, traditional number 6. And Van de Beek, spraying balls up to our, attacking players, Bruno, the Pogbas, the Greenwoods, and they can feed in Ronaldo and Greenwood, hopefully. And I think Van de Beek is much better passer of the ball than Fred, McTominay, and Matic. I say Matic because Matic played against Newcastle and then he played against Young Boys in our Champions League match. I don't think he has the legs to play again against West Ham. Even if he does, oh God, I hope not he plays for the full 90 minutes because then he'll become a liability. But, I think Ole will go with Matic and Fred. I think he should go with Fred and Van de Beek. Our left side, I think he will go with Paul Pogba. And on our right hand side, I think he will go with Mason Greenwood. Now, there's something, depending on how West Ham's set up, I think there's also a chance that, Fred being our defensive midfielder and Pogba play with him. And then on the left wing, we have Sancho, and then on the right wing, we have Mason Greenwood. That is something Ole can do as well. But I think, since West Ham are going to be a more attacking team, I think they're going to sit back. That's why I think he might go with, Matic and Fred. In the midfield, of course, as our false 9 or number 10, whatever you want to call it, Bruno Fernandes, the superstar that we have. Mason Greenwood, I already talked about, and then our out-and-out striker being Cristiano Ronaldo. It's, I still have to pinch myself whenever I say that. So, that's my predicted 11. I think Jadon Sancho should get more and more game time. But I don't think Ole will start him in this game. I know he was he the first player that was sacrificed? Yeah, he was. Who came on? in front instead of, against Jadon Sancho. I don't remember actually. Let's check if I have. Oh, there you go. Okay, let's check. Calendar. It's updating. Come on. There we go. So the match was Tuesday. So Jadon Sancho was substituted for Diogo Dalot. Yeah, so Sancho was sacrificed. I mean, he was sacrificed because I think Ole couldn't make any other change. I don't think Ole has it in him to, I mean, who else would he take off? So that's a bit, I feel sad for Sancho and Van de Beek. I think they both should have been able to play full 90 minutes against young boys, but not gonna take anything away from Wan-Bissaka's mistake. It was his mistake, and I think because of that, foolishness, because it was pretty foolish for him to lunge in a tackle like that. Sancho and Van de Beek were not able to play the full 90 minutes, which would have done both of them a world of good. But that's what it is. Don't want to dwell too much on that match. You play Villarreal. That's your second game. What a tough game that will be. But if you can get a result against Villarreal, I think we are more than capable of getting all 3 points against Atalanta as well. We win our next 2 matches, and all of a sudden, the table will look a lot different than it is looking right now. But I think Sancho will be involved at some point in the game, depending how the game goes. I just don't think he might start the game. Van de Beek, I don't know. I don't think he will be involved at any point in the game. Maybe if you're winning, 3-0 or 4-0, then Ole might give him 3 or 4 minutes at the end. But who knows? But that's my team. That's what I think. Ole will go with. If it was up to me, I would play Van de Beek instead of Matic. Everything else, Diogo Dalot, as I mentioned, and depending how the game goes, how Van de Beek and Fred are performing, change to bring Sancho on and just have one defensive midfielder, but we'll see. I'm excited. It's Ronaldo. We're gonna every time United play, we're going to watch Ronaldo play. So it's exciting in its own sense. So that's my team now. There's a couple of other things I want to talk about. Before the season started, in one of my first videos, I mentioned, and I'm sorry it's going to be a longer video than my previous few videos, but I said we have a great chance of winning the league. Lo and behold, Manchester City signed Jack Grealish, Chelsea signed Lukaku, and then in the video after those signings, I said it's going to be really tough. In fact, I think I said we might not win the league. We might might come third, even though we've improved, as Gary Neville said. But signing of Ronaldo sort of shifts all of that and turns everything over, because he is, without a doubt, in my humble opinion, the best player to have ever graced a football pitch. The best, GOAT. And we have that player who is still performing at the very highest levels. So that obviously changes things. I think we are more than capable with our current squad. Of course, we need a solid midfielder, but I think there are just no more excuses. We have a good enough squad to win the league. Okay, not win the league. And I say that because to win the league, you need, and especially now that, looking at certain teams, Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, always quick to, forget about Liverpool. I think the team that wins the league will need a lot of luck on their side, apart from, being amazingly good throughout the whole season. And, if you have that bit of luck, you'll win the league. So I'm not going to say United should win the league. I'm saying United should compete and be up there, battling it out until the very end for the league. And not be like, if you're second and you're like 12 points off number one spot, you didn't really compete. So I feel like this season United are more than capable of, putting up the pressure to win the league until the very end. They have a squad that is more than capable of that, I think. And I agree with Jamie Carragher when he says, in each of our position, we have about a $50 million player, pound player, 50 million Great Britain pound player. I think I agree that there's a lot more pressure on Chelsea to win the league because, God, they've invested a humongous amount of money in their squad, and the depth that Chelsea have, I think, is even better than Man City's. But it's Ole has to deliver now. It's his team, his players, his style of management. He knows best, and I'm sure he knows about this pressure too. Having said that, the second thing I wanted to talk about was I think the first Monday Night Football on Sky Sports that Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher had, and they talked about Messi versus Ronaldo, and who is the best player in the world. If I'm brutally honest, that was one of the most cringiest Monday Night Footballs that those pair have done ever since I've been watching Monday Night Football. And I think I've been watching Monday Night Football for past 4 or 5 years now. Honestly, I didn't watch the whole thing because the points that they were making, oh, Ronaldo scored this many goals, this many headed goals. Oh, Messi is a more complete player. He runs the team, whereas Ronaldo is just a goal. It was so stupid. I mean, I get that they want to defend their argument and make points for their argument, but there really isn't any argument. It's about perspective. It's about, each person's own thought process, I feel like, in my opinion, Ronaldo is the best player in the world. If I have a friend who thinks Messi is the best player or the greatest player in the world, right? He thinks that way, and I can't change his way of thinking. I'm certainly not going to tell him that he's wrong because that's now how it is. Messi and Ronaldo are the two of the greatest players in the world. So the margins are so thin. I mean, I can say we're both right is what I'm trying to say. I'm right in saying that Ronaldo is the greatest player in the world, and he's right in saying Messi is. Now, my opinion is based on certain facts that they didn't pick up on it. The fact that Ronaldo has done it in 3-4 different leagues, and Messi has not. All right, that's it's an opinion. But to argue that the way they did on Sky Sports was, and the points they were making, like, high school kids. And, I've kind of lost, I'm not going to say I've lost respect for them, but I mean, as pundits, I trust them a little less after that video. And that's my opinion. They shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have gone to that place because it's a hole, and there is no result, there is no conclusion in that hole. And it's disappointing that they, with all their experience and knowledge as pundits, they still went into that hole, into that debate, Ronaldo v Messi. It was sad. It was sad for both of them. But that's what it is, looking forward to the game. It's going to be, well, for me, it's going to be on Sunday at 9 a.m. West Ham versus Manchester United. Right afterwards, it's going to be Tottenham versus Chelsea, which is going to be interesting. But I think Tottenham do have a couple of injuries to their starting lineup players, so they might be weak. In Chelsea, again, like I mentioned, Lukaku it's a brilliant signing for Chelsea, and he's proving out to be one. And there's one point that I would also like to make. I know a lot of people keep saying how awesome Lukaku is, me included, but don't forget, and Rio Ferdinand has said that many times, don't forget that Ronaldo outscored Lukaku in the Italian league with the team that did not win the league, whereas Lukaku was part of a team that won the league. That says something. That actually says a lot of things. So to each his own, whatever you think. Facts are facts. That's what it is. So yeah, I hope United. See, now I feel weird now. I feel like we owe it to Ronaldo to perform, which is, it's bad. I know Jamie Carragher was saying, Ronaldo might have a negative effect on the team, which is, again, such a load of bull crap. These people would say anything out of their hatred for, the other team. I don't get it. You have, as a pundit, it should at least be biased, unbiased. Jamie Carragher has been so foolish with his statements, and so is Gary Neville, to be honest. But I feel like, every bad result, I feel like Ronaldo's eyes are judging Ole and the management with every bad game. So that's something to look out for. I hope, we don't perform bad, or, we are playing amazing as we should. We really should. We have really good players to perform. But that game against Young Boys, and I'm sorry to go back to that game again, it was sort of a shocker. I've personally felt that we had moved on from those sort of performances, but unfortunately, it seems like we are more than capable of performing like that still, with all the players that we've signed, with all the games that we've had to learn from, and still. But I don't want to be too down. I want to be happy, and I hope the post-match review I will do of the match against West Ham will be a very good, happy video. So looking forward to that, looking forward to the match. And again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I know it has been a long video, but like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the views that I get. One of my most watched video has had about 46-47 views, which is pretty awesome. So thank you so much for that. And I'll definitely, now that work has calmed down a slight little bit, I'll hopefully have a bit more time to record a video, post-match reaction. So that's been that. And with my post-match reaction, I will also do a match preview against West Ham, which is the Carabao Cup. And I'll predict my starting lineup for that team in my post-match video. So look out for that. Thank you for watching. See you until the next one. Take care. Bye.